Erica and Sharon are sisters who began their grief journey in 2006 when Erica's 10-year-old son Austin drowned. Together, they participated in a grief education program, were so moved by this experience, they studied and became specialists so they could help the brokenhearted find recovery. In 2015, tragedy struck their family once again when Erica's oldest son Donovan was killed in a motorcycle accident. Erica and Sharon are committed to sharing their experiences of love, loss, and healing through this podcast. Now your grief specialists, Sharon and Erica.
We're on the holiday season. It comes up on us every time at this year. And some of us still have the same broken heart that we had last year. Or we don't have that broken heart. We have a new loss. Or this holiday season has reminded us of our loss. All different things can be happening right now. And this is our annual show that we will probably do from now until the day we die, where we get to talk about how grief can affect every holiday that you experience, every special day.
And it's so important to get started on this sooner rather than later, because for some people, holiday season, like for me personally, starts on Halloween. Halloween was Austin's favorite day. He loved getting his costume. He loved dressing up. Trick-or-treating obviously was a huge perk of the day. And to go through every single Halloween without him in this space was hard. It was really hard for me. And then that set off, as you roll immediately, the day Halloween decorations come down, you have Thanksgiving and even Christmas trickling in the day after Halloween. And you have this heightened sense of doom because the holiday season just means you're going to be sad all over again.
Well, and I think that I absolutely agree with you, because through then after that, let's say January, February, March, you get sprinkles of holidays throughout, right? So you get a Mother's Day, and then you get a breather, and you get Father's Day, you get a breather, and then you might have their birthday in there, and then you get a breather. But here you're just hit. Mm-hmm. And I'm here to tell you, the stores are not helping you at all, because even through the pandemic, we see that all the holiday stuff is out. We see the Christmas tree lots going up. We see the pumpkin patches going up. We're reminded in every aspect of our life that the holidays are coming, and they're not going to be here with us.
And it's not just that one from the stores. You have it on social media. If you've ever shopped on Amazon, Amazon's already sending you emails about their pre-shopping days and all these special things, that promos that they're doing. So you really have it from every single angle, and you can't escape it.
Right. And even our friends are posting about it, and sometimes we can think it's really insensitive. And the post can be something really that doesn't affect us at all on a normal basis, like the excitement of the pumpkin spice coffee coming back at Starbucks. It can be a goofy post, but it's a reminder. Right. And I think what the reminder part is that holidays are supposed to be a happy time. They're our favorite time of the year. They're our time when we get together as family and friends. They're the times when we get to show our love, right? Someone has decided that here's the time of the year that you get to show your love. Or you also have all of these memories wrapped in there.
Right. And so that's why it's important to be aware, because like I said, your nerve endings are standing at attention, because even if you try to block it out and not acknowledge what's happening, your body's reacting. Your body is reacting and knows that this day is coming. There's an automatic calendar. For me personally, I experience this. My body knows the days are coming, and I feel a shift. Yeah. And I've described it in the past as it's like in the scary movie where the hand is coming. I could feel the hand coming and reaching for me. Now, prior to me doing my work, I just had to deal with it and suck it up and cry through those days, or yell, and you snap and you don't mean to. You're like, I don't know why I'm so sensitive, but it's because that's what's happening. And that's why I wanted to bring attention. Holiday as a season brings some some undue pain to us that we're not prepared for. So if you're listening to this podcast, it's a way to get you prepared for it. And for our sisters out there that this is the first one, that's always so hard to get through.
Yeah.
The first one without your husband or your child or your whoever is hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Now let's do something else. Let's add one more thing on that. Now we have the pandemic.
Right.
And a lot of us are still home, which means a lot of us aren't going to be together for the holidays. So our support that we normally would have to help us through, we're not even going to be able to be around them this year.
Right.
So that's when you're saying they need to get ready, there's a second layer to the get ready that they need to get ready for.
That is so true. I constantly, I think purposely forget the pandemic because it's so awful. It is so awful and it's gone on so long. And I think we were all hopeful that it wouldn't be a factor. But what we're hearing is this is going to go on for a lot longer than any of us anticipated. So you are absolutely right. And I'm glad you brought that point up. Our holidays are going to look a lot different this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say we're not even grieving the death, right? Let's just talk about that for a second. But on Thanksgiving, you can't go be with grandma and you can't, mom's not coming to town and you're not going to be with your brothers and sisters. As a matter of fact, Lauren, my oldest daughter, called me yesterday. She's like, are we coming over for one day for Thanksgiving? And I was like, no, because my husband is 74 and my mother who lives with me is 78. She has 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And we haven't been together all year. We're not going to get together just because it's Thanksgiving. I think some people think, oh, well, it's a holiday, so we're going to forget the pandemic.
We're going to get a timeout. We're going to give the pandemic a timeout, and we're going to proceed with our normal holiday functions.
Exactly. But that's a loss and a brokenness, right?
Yeah.
So you got that. But, and then if you're grieving on top of that, you have that added, and now you got to do it by yourself. So you know, you're making the turkey by yourself or whatever. I mean, I full on see just the 4 of us being here on Thanksgiving, and we've done every other holiday this year. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And I think that we need to make sure that our friends know that you have to work through that. You have to work through that pain as well.
Yeah.
You have to already look at your calendar and talk with your family and schedule those Zoom calls.
Yes.
Schedule your Thanksgiving Day Zoom.
Your Zoom Thanksgiving.
Yeah, your Zoom giving. Get it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Schedule it. Talk about what it's going to look like, and start to make the best of a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay on the pandemic topic right now. They've gone back and forth, and honestly, because I don't have small children, I'm not even sure where it's at. But they were like, trick-or-treating is off, trick-or-treating is on, trick-or-treating is off. So for the 1 and 2-year-olds, littles, they probably don't care whether it's on or off anyway. But for the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old that's always gotten that costume and has always done something for that holiday, and we've done that trunk or treat or whatever, it's going to be a huge loss for them. They're not in school. They're not with their teacher. And now they can't celebrate the holiday. And guess what? Ian, my brother's not here. My brother, who was always here, is now gone. It just adds to the grief that we're already feeling. And so one of the things that you and I teach, and we also have in our holiday guide, is that come up with a plan. And this now more than ever before is the time to have the plan.
Yeah, it is so true. You definitely have to plan, and we have to continue to get creative. Just like we came up with Zoom giving, you have to get creative. You have to go into your toolbox. You got to get with your friends that are, where you could be socially distant. And for, like Sharon said, the littles that are aware that this is a different change, this is different this year, they have to wear the mask to school. All this stuff has been so hard and challenging for them. You got to give them some sort of a little perk to this, and make it fun. Still find ways to make it fun and safe. And like we all know on again, off again. There's constant change every single day. And I think that's going to go on throughout our near future because we just don't know how this is changing and growing and manifesting itself. So just got to be prepared to roll with the punches and keep being creative. So that's one. And Sharon did mention the holiday guide. The holiday guide is key to give you a lot of tips. And we're also going to be doing a webinar where we're really going to give very specific information that's going to run throughout the holidays until the end of the year to help get you guys through.
Yeah, and we're going to have both of those listed in our Facebook Live notes, so you'll be able to find them all there. I want to talk about two other parts, Erica. Number one, you set the tone as the parent, right? So you set the tone of what the holiday is going to be like. But the second part is you set the tone for what it's going to be like for you. Good, bad, or ugly, you're setting the tone. So let's address that. Let's talk about just as the parent setting the tone.
Well, I know for me personally, the one thing I can say is you have every intention of I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rally and I'm gonna do it. And then that morning of, I couldn't get out of bed some days.
Yeah.
I couldn't get out of bed. I would go into it with, I got it this year. This year's the one. We're gonna do this, and I would have a full-on plan. And then the day would show up, and my heart would be so sad. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
So don't be too put out if that happens. Just give yourself that time and space, because this is what I think where I made my mistake. I would try to shove that down. No, you get yourself out of this bed. You've got to show up for Donovan and for Jordan, and you've got to make this happen. And so you force yourself to get through it. What I would have done differently if I known, I would have just laid there and cried.
Right.
And cried and cried and got the ugly cry out, got the snot and the tissues, and just held on to one of Austin's favorite t-shirts and just cried through it.
Right.
When you let it out and you release it, it passes, and then you are able to get out of bed. I made the mistake of jumping out and fighting against it. If I would have just allowed it to pass through me, it would have been so much different. So parents, for those of you that set the tone, allow that to happen. Now, once you get your feet planted on the ground and you hit the ground running, you just do whatever you can on that day. You might have had 10 things that you got on your list, but you only got 2 things done. That's all right.
Yeah.
That is all right.
Yeah. So I said you set the tone as the parent, but you also set the tone for yourself. And so that was a great example. But I also want to talk about when you're setting the tone for yourself, let's say you don't have littles around, and the tone you set is that you're not going to get out of bed. You're not going to get out of bed today. That's absolutely okay. Mm-hmm. You're going to sit in it. That's okay too.
Right. No, it is for sure. You have to give yourself permission to have the feeling.
Yeah.
You can't think that it's a bad thing to have the feelings. It feels bad. It definitely feels bad. So we want to avoid it, but allow it to happen and accept it. Accept it. I'm not getting out of bed today. It's Halloween. I don't feel like it. It's the pandemic. I can't go to this Halloween party anyway. I'm just going to stay in bed and watch love stories or Hallmark Channel and enjoy your day. Enjoy it. Yeah. Embrace it and enjoy it.
And here's another thing that happens. What happens when you come up on the holiday and you want to act like it doesn't exist? So for example, if Halloween was his favorite holiday, but now this year you decide, I'm not celebrating, I'm not decorating, and I'm not going around anyone that is decorating, and I'm not going to go to any trick-or-treating party.
I mean, if that's your personal choice, I think the one thing to really examine is, are you saying that because you're resisting? Or are you saying that because you just don't have an interest in it? You know what I'm saying? You have to look at it, really evaluate it. Are you pushing back against it? Are you throwing your hands up and saying, I'm not doing it because I'm not even acknowledging that this day is coming? Yeah. And so we can insert Halloween, Thanksgiving, or Christmas here, because it could be any one of the 3. Are you resisting? Or are you just not interested? If you're just not interested and you choose to do something, read a book, that's fine. But if you're pushing back against it, you have to look at what's causing you to push back.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. How the holidays can be painful. We have to
will
say
be
that.
painful. They
Yeah.
will be painful,
Yeah.
without a doubt.
Yeah. One of the other things that you and I talk about a lot when we're talking about the holidays is that we can get through Thanksgiving like it was a breeze. And we're like, man, I totally got through that. And the next day, we're flat on our ass
Yeah.
because we literally didn't prepare for the day after because we held on so tight and we just had to get through today, get through today, get through today. And the punch in the gut comes the next day.
Yeah. And for Thanksgiving is our, comes up with our dad's anniversary of his passing and his favorite holiday.
Yeah.
So we have a twofer on Thanksgiving. And yeah, we can, and for us, because, well, pre-pandemic, we are social entities and we cook. We cook.
Right.
Our creativity goes, the love goes into the food. So we're so distracted by our menu and executing it flawlessly and presenting this beautiful table. And then you're right. The next day you're like, I didn't even deal with the emotions at all.
Yeah.
And they hit you like a ton of bricks the day after. And you absolutely can't get out of bed because we didn't allow ourselves any time to have the emotion. And we didn't even talk about what the day really is.
Yeah, exactly. And so you and I talk a lot about having a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Having a plan for whatever you're going to do, having a plan for bringing them into the holiday, right? Having a plan for, sometimes people will set a place for them at the Thanksgiving table. Sometimes they will make sure the biggest bottle of ketchup is on the table because they put ketchup on everything. And that's just an understated statement. Sometimes they just light a candle in the room and they don't want to talk about it at all. But you have a plan. Do not go into the holiday without a plan. Right. If you go into the holiday without a plan, you're going to get cut off at the knees and it is going to knock you for some loop.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be blindsided by the holidays. You absolutely can tell yourself, I'm not acknowledging this. This is not happening, but it will blindside you because the days are coming whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up and it's going to be Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever your season is. You're going to wake up on that day. And if you don't have a plan, it's going to just literally smack you in the face.
Yeah. And we're all just waiting for 2020 to end.
Oh my God. Truer words have never been spoken.
Oh my gosh.
I need to honestly, and this is, I'm saying this in jest, but I mean this.
You need to grieve 2020. Oh yeah, we do. Oh yeah, that definitely has to be a show. We need to talk about that because the other thing that I've been saying, whenever someone says, well, this happened, well, these bags don't work, well, this doesn't happen. I'm like, of course, it's 2020. It fits on everything now. Yeah, everything that goes wrong, poor 2020.
I had Jordan laughing at me the other day because he had been complaining about a headache and I kept offering him Tylenol. Well, I ended up getting a headache. So I go to get the Tylenol that I'd been offering him all day and I pour it out and there's only one left in the bottle. And I looked at him and I said, freaking 2020.
You can be to blame for everything. It's going to be the holiday we never celebrate, the 2020 holiday.
We're going to have to do a full year of just self-care shows for 2021 so we could recover from 2020.
Oh my God. Well, actually, I thought about, there was such getting on a side note, but I thought, have I taken a picture of myself in a mask? Because I need that. I need to have that so I can show my grandchildren. And then in 2020, we all had to wear these.
I don't know how they're going to write this down in the history books.
Oh,
I don't know how they're even going to do it justice.
Yeah. So that is a whole nother, it's almost like the dark cloud that's hanging over the holiday season.
Right.
It's like the holiday season itself is dark, but then there's this dark cloud that's just hanging over it, and it's the 2020. I can't even imagine, sisters, anyone having to do any of the holidays without your family near when you need them more than anything. Plus, all of us that have experienced loss this year and death due to the pandemic or without the pandemic, just a loss, a death, not being able to go to the funeral. Man, this whole year.
Yeah, this whole year. That's why we have to continue tap into those creative juices. Don't let 2020 get the best of you.
Yeah.
Whether you agree to meet up in a parking lot and open, socially distance and open the hatch on your car. If you have a truck, sit in the bed of your truck and everyone just gather in that way, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't let 2020 get the best of you. Get your creative hats on and find ways where you could come together, support one another, hold the space for everyone, and just muster through this pandemic and the holidays as best we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the one thing we know is that we need our support to help us through. We need our plan. Be prepared. Do not let this just hit you out of nowhere.
Yes. We are going to be airing this show on Halloween. And I encourage you, everyone, all of our sisters and friends who are listening to this, the minute this podcast ends, pick up the phone and start making those phone calls to your loved one and start making your plan.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Let's do Zoom things, Zoom giving. Let's do, I can't think of something creative for Christmas, but whatever the Zoom parking lot, however you do it, get on the phone.
Zoomis.
Zoomis. I love it. Zoomis. Get on the phone, plan it out, start sending out the emails, cook your meals, show up in the parking lot, potluck it, everybody eat their own meal, do things, make the best of it and laugh through it because you do need laughter. I know you think we're silly because we're laughing, but the laughter gets you through and you gotta just do the best that you can.
Yeah. We couldn't have made it without each other, at those times. Even for Thanksgiving, our dad died on Thanksgiving morning. We all came together that day. Donovan died. We all went to Texas and we spent Thanksgiving together. So we had plans. Christmas for Austin, we all spent the night together. So we had plans and we got together as a family. So it's going to be so, so important. You'll be seeing our Griever's Guide and it has a bunch of tips in there for you.
Absolutely. And we'll be putting up information about the webinar so that'll run, like we said, till the end of the year. So if you need to go back and rewatch it or whatever, it'll be up and it'll be available.
Yeah. Thank you, friends.
Bye, friends. Thank you. Hi, friends. Erica Honore here with Healing Starts with the Heart. Sharon and I are so glad you joined us for another great episode of our podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We want to let you know for more information, you can go to our website at healingstartswiththeheart.com. There you will find not only today's podcast, but all of our podcasts, along with our blogs, the information on the programs that we offer, and the Griever's Guide, which is something Sharon and I put together to document how we came to be your grief specialists. We also have a quiz to take to identify if you are truly grieving. And if you want to talk specifically with either Sharon or myself, you can schedule an appointment there. You will also find a place to join our private Facebook group at Hope, Heal, and Recover. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a great day, friends.